Now, let's begin.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just got done watching the season finale of The Tourist, episode 6. And I'm just going to do a kind of a review and overall opinion on it, and also go into spoilers. So the overall review of this episode is really, really good. I was hoping it'd be, kind of a good end of it. It was really, really done well. The review of the whole series, excellent. It's kind of a long movie. It has beginning, middle, and end, actually. I'm hoping there is a season 2. I think there is a season 2. I believe it might be releasing, maybe, I don't know if it's fake news or not, but I read on interwebs that it'd be a season 2 released to Netflix end of this month, maybe. If so, I'll watch it and talk about it, because I'm a fan of this series so far. So, but yeah, that's a quick and easy. I'll just say a little bit too. The characters I like. I really like Helen in this series. She's one of them. I like Elliot too. I like his. He's trying to figure out who he is, and you find out a little bit later who he is. But Helen is my favorite. You can see how she progresses her character arc of who she was and who she is, and it's well done. You can tell whoever created this series took care of it. They see what they want to tell, and they have a little bit of twists and turns in it, and curiosity, and they done it very, very well. And they had a little bit of subplots, not much, but it come together perfectly in a perfectly bow, I guess, in a present. It was well done. But all right, let's go ahead and get into spoilers. If you don't like spoilers, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So the next episode carries over from the previous episode, where the drug dealer was talking to his brother in like a FaceTime. And he's saying, "Well, I thought you was dead," so on and so forth. The brother says, "Nah, the reason I'm still alive is this. While it's going on, Lucy and Elliot's talking. He's like, "We need to get out of here. We'll go over here and get the gun from the detective." While he's getting ready to do that, the drug dealer was like, "You're not my brother. You can't be." And he's actually seeing his imaginary brother talking to him. He's like, "Yeah, he's not your brother," and he believes him over him, and he hangs up the phone. And after do that, he's like went to Lucy and is like, "Why are you doing this to me?" At that point, they was trying to, and then they done the hustle and trying to fight a little bit, and the lights went out because they hit a light switch, whatever, outside, and then the gun starts shooting. You can't know what's going on. As soon as the gun shoots, you can see the light from the gun. When the detective turns the light back on, then you see that the drug dealer got shot and Lucy got shot. While that's happening, the chief detective saw that the drug dealer's down, and he's like, "Where's my wife at?" And he gets his phone, he unlocks it, and he leaves to go get his wife, which she saves him. But that's not the end of the story with him. In the meantime, Lucy tells Elliot to get the $1 million and let's go. While they're driving down the road, Elliot is driving, of course, and Lucy is talking, and she's sharing her thoughts, her heart, and all this stuff, her story, her backstory, and all that kind of stuff. In the meantime, she passes away, and he's all upset. And that's the reason I think episode 2 is kind of a filler, because that was mostly them two, right? And I didn't have no feelings like, "Oh, not Lucy, oh no." I didn't care much for Lucy. She was just a placeholder. She's an alright character, I guess, but didn't have much appeal to me to want her to survive, I guess. I don't know, but that's just me. While that's going on, Helen is talking to she's dancing with her fiance, practicing dancing for their big day of wedding. Elliot calls Helen, and he says, I need help and all that stuff. She hangs up, and she's talking to her fiance. Her fiance, "Don't call him back." "Well, he might need me." And long story short, he gives her an option, me or him. And she's like, "I can't believe you do that. I thought she was this. I thought, And she says, "I'll choose Elliot." And she dumps her fiance. Praise God for that. And she goes and she calls him and says, "Where's he at? Where you at?" And he tells her, and she goes. In the meantime, the chief detective went to the apartment to kind of to spin it to say that Helen's the one that got after the police department guy that lost his life. So everybody's gonna go after her and Elliot. Well, in the meantime, Helen goes to get some gas or something to a convenience store, and she goes in and she looks on the TV where she realizes they are after him and her. Eventually, she gets to where Elliot is, tell him the situation. Before she gets to him, Elliot hides the $1 million behind a sign on the road. They get there and they just go, trying to figure out what they're going to do. In the meantime, there's a cop behind her. They go into a town and they're surrounded. So they went into a roadblock, that kind of thing. They went into a diner with a bunch of people. In the meantime, they were sitting there. They had a guy call in to try to talk him down, all that kind of stuff. Well, what do you need? He's like, I need you to find. I didn't know how. I forgot. Must have missed it. Where Elliot tells the guy to find a certain name of a person. That person was the girl in his dream that he's been seeing. He wants to know who she is. Well, they find her and says she's on her way. In the meantime, the chief detective gets there and says, "Come on." He calls on a private line and says, "Come on, you need to come out. They won't believe you," and all that kind of stuff. And in the meantime, they're waiting for something to happen, and eventually they find. They sent Ellen an email with a speed camera of the chief detective with Elliot. So that shows that the story he's telling is incorrect, that Helen had nothing to do with the shooting. So that releases that, and they arrested that. No, they didn't show that part, but they took Elliot into the jail for brief, and Helen is free, right? She goes in and talks to Elliot for a brief moment and then walks out and kind of thing, because she said, "You'll be out soon." Well, in the meantime, she says, "Oh yeah, by the way, so-and-so's here." They got her, right? The one he'd been seeing in his dreams. Here comes the climax of the story. So basically, when she comes in there, and he's like, is this a trick? You don't really know who I am?" He said, "I don't." He's like, "Well, I'll tell you who you are." So basically, this lady that he remembers is a drug mule, basically. He had 3 people to send drugs to a certain location to swallow this stuff, drug mule. Well, the stuff that she's telling the story that the 2 other people that had the stuff in them must have been not really tight in. They wasn't very fixed very well, because it started. They had these 3 people go on an airplane to ship it to somewhere else. In the meantime, they had a kind of a way of saying this is our family kind of thing, right? But really it's fake, right? An image. That's the word I'm looking for. Well, she was telling a story how the other 2, the drug mules, didn't last that long because the drug in the bag wouldn't seal very well, because one had started having seizures and passed away in like 3 minutes. The other one took a little longer, but was in pain. But her, she survived, but when she got there, she found, and she shows her belly, she got scars that she said, "You paid somebody to do this to me." So basically, when Elliot is listening to this, and he can't believe he did this, that he paid somebody to cut her open to get the stuff out. And she said, "This is who you are. I just want you to know so you can live with it." And she walks out, and Elliot tells people this, what happened, what he did. But the cop said that what she said, "Oh, it's the wrong kind of guy." So he is set free for some reason, right? He's like, "I can't believe I did all this stuff and I can walk." The other cop's like, "Yeah, I guess so. Good for you, I guess," right? So he walks out thinking about what he did. And, and he actually gets in his car and tries to unalive himself, right? So he gets up, he drives his car wide open to go up on a ridge, and it flips, and he ends up at the hospital again. And the whole time, and he wakes up in the hospital. I was like, they ask, "Who are you?" He kind of out there. I was like, "Oh no, please don't do a reset of your brain." He remembers his name. Well, Helen comes to. She finds out the truth of what he did to that lady, and it's like, "I can't believe that's you," and this is, I can't believe it, all that kind of stuff. He's like, "I'm sorry, I don't remember this." He's being genuine. He don't remember being that way, but he feels horrible that he did that. Well, Helen's like, I can't, deal with this, and she walks out again. The whole time I was like, oh man, I want them to come together, right? Well, and then at the end, he goes back to the hotel and he has a bunch of drugs, and he takes them all and drinks it down with some alcohol. In the meantime, Helen is talking to her friends at a bar, talking about love and life and all that kind of stuff. And the girl trying to convince her to, don't give up on love. In the meantime, after Elliot taking all that drugs and alcohol, he lays on the bed and he starts to close his eyes. Goes to sleep, right? Getting ready to go to sleep. And the whole time, that same moment, Helen is calling Elliot, and the phone rings. No, he gets a text message. That's what it is. And it's I'm like legit was dialed in. It's like, "Oh man, please man, wake up, man, wake up." I was like, wow, I am really invested in this show more than I expected. I mean, I really am. And he hears a ding ding, and he opens his eyes and he looks at the phone. It's a taco because of their talk at the Mexican restaurant, and he kind of looks. I don't remember if he smiles or not, but you can tell he has a little bit of happiness in his eyes at that moment. And the episode ends. And it's a really good series. And I can't, and I guess that's the reason I really wanted to make this series, make this videos to, I guess, enjoy it, each episode. Because if you binge a whole episode or a series in 6 hours, you can only attain so much, right? You can enjoy it, but when you come, for me, I like to enjoy like a good meal, right? Like I always say, how I do reviews of how I grade movies and shows is like how I grade food. Is if it's a fast food kind of feel or a sit down restaurant kind of feel. This series is a sit down restaurant kind of feel. I really, really enjoy it. I might rewatch it again. It's just a good way of, just a good movie. I think it's a good movie season. It has a beginning, middle, and end. I mean, if they have a season 2, which I think they will, I'll probably watch it and see what kind of story they tell. But I enjoy it. It kind of, I'm so thankful they do this kind of stuff, that they have. Cause if they don't have a season 2, at least they have a good season. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I like about it. But yeah, finally I got done with season 6, episode 6, season 1. And we'll see if, I think I read something again. I know I repeat myself that it was season 2 might be coming soon. If so, I will watch that and talk about that as well. I hope y'all enjoyed this series review, and hopefully we'll continue on with others in the near future. I guess I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.